Good morning, everybody. My name is Callie, and today I have a super fun painting activity for you guys. Instead of painting with paintbrushes or different tools like we usually do, we will be making stamps with pipe cleaners to paint with. So I have a few that I will show you guys how to make today, and there's only a few things that you need to make this. As I said, we will be making them out of pipe cleaners, so one necessary supply to have is pipe cleaners. Next, we're going to need a scissors as we will be cutting up the pipe cleaners for different sizes. You will also need some sort of paint. I am also going to be using a plastic paper plate because I need to put my paints on there before I start. And I'm also going to be using some paintbrushes. And then lastly, you're going to need some sort of paper to stamp your stamps onto. So as I showed you before, this is one of them that I will be showing you how to do. So we'll make a little heart stamp. Another one is you can make any letter. This one I made a K. I'll be showing you how to make another letter today. Another one, you can do any shape. I made a circle for this one, but we can for sure try out different shapes. And then the last one is a star or snowflake. So I tried two of them already on paper to show you guys what they look like. So this is what the heart one turns out to look like. And this is what our letter one turns out to look like. So they work really well, but I will show you guys how I make them as well as how we can use them to stamp them on the paper, as there are two ways. You can either use your paintbrushes to paint directly onto your stamp and then go down on the paper. Otherwise, you can put it on your plate, stamp onto your plate, and then onto paper. So it's kind of up to you, whatever you find works best, but we can jump right in and get started. So the first thing what I'll do is I'm just going to get my paints out here, get them ready for when I need them. Alright, so the first thing that we will do is I will show you how to make these. So as I said before, this is the heart one, and what I did to make this is I kind of just eyeballed a heart shape. So I kind of turned it in, and the nice thing about pipe cleaners is if you end up not liking the shape, you can always go back in. So I kind of make this curve at the top, and then I come down and make that line back up. And then just like you would on paper, you want to make that curve back down again. And then we come at the crossing of the two. So if you like where your shape is at, we are just going to connect these. Again, as I said, you can always go back in and kind of change your shape. So as you can see, this one was a little bit of a shorter heart, whereas this one is going to be a long one, but that is okay. So if you like where your shape is at, all you're going to do is you're going to twist these ends together, and then you have this very long piece on the back. And what I did for all of mine, as you might have seen, I either left a very long piece to hold on to, or I left a loop to stamp. So I'm just going to bend that back, that extra long piece, which creates a kind of handle for us when we are stamping. So there is the first one. So I will actually take time to show you what this one looks like on paper. So I'm going to get some paint out. Any color works. For this, I'll be using purple. As you saw before, on the heart that I showed you, I used red. But to show you right now, you will just use purple. So I'm just going to take my plate and put a little bit of purple down. As I said before, there are two ways to do this. You can either paint directly onto your stamp or you can dip it. For this one, I will be showing you how to paint on. So I'm just going to dip into our paint. And I'm just going to paint directly onto our stamp. You want to make sure you have the entire thing covered. Sometimes it takes a little bit more paint than you would think. I found that the painting on the stamp is a lot easier when you are stamping down on the plate first. It can kind of make a bit of a mess as paint tends to get everywhere, but again, it is totally up to you. Okay, I'm going to put a little bit more on here. Okay. And then what we do is we just take our stamp, as you can see all the purple, and you just want to press down. I'm going to use my fingers to help guide it, as it's not as even as it could be, so I'm just going to push it down in all areas, just like that. And so this is how the first one turns out. And I can just set this to the side. And if you wanted to, if you're going to make this a painting for yourself or for somebody else, of course, this is just an example. You could take a big sheet of paper and do a bunch of hearts in a bunch of different colors, or any of these stamps that we are using today. I'm just showing you how to make them, and you can use them however you would like. So again, here is our heart, but I will set that to the side to dry, and I will move on to show you guys the other ones we will make today. So, as I showed you in the beginning, another fun one that I made before was I made the letter K. Today we can make another letter, any letter of the alphabet that we can make. Since I already did a circle O that I'll be showing you guys, I won't be doing an O. An easier letter, we could do a C, so I'll show you guys how to do that. So we're just going to take a pipe cleaner, just like we did the last, and you want to kind of eyeball out your shape. So a C, just like a heart, you start out with that curve at the top, and then you create that curve on the bottom, just like this. And for this one, I'm actually going to cut the pipe cleaner, and then we'll re-put it back on there for our holder. If you are at home doing this with me, make sure you're careful with pipe cleaners and scissors. They both can be very sharp. Okay, but here we have our C. And then the next thing I'm going to do is I will just be taking this excess and we'll just loop it around the middle of our C. And I'm going to bring it to the top, and I'm just going to twist them together in a loop. Now, when you're going to stamp, all you have to do is hold on to your little holder that you made, and you can stamp down very easily. So again, I'll show you this one. I'll use a different color since I have a bunch. So this one I'll use yellow. And I'm going to be just using different brushes for these as I didn't bring any cleaning supplies. But if you have some warm soapy water at home, that is going to work amazing as well to clean them. Alright, so again, just like the last, I'll show you guys. I put a dot of yellow onto my plate, and I'm going to be taking a different brush. Again, any size works, but I will be painting directly onto the C. So for this, you also want to make sure for lettering that when you're stamping down, it is going to stamp the correct way. We don't want to accidentally do it this way. That's why I made sure I put the handle on this side, as it will stamp down the correct way. But again, I'm just going to be dipping into that paint that I laid down, and we will just entirely cover the back portion of our C stamp. A fun thing to do with this is you could always spell out your name. So you could make a bunch of different letters to spell out your name in stamps. You could do your initials, you could do your school colors and your school name in stamps. What's fun with these is they really can go any direction you want them to, as well as the colors of paints that you're using can go in any direction that you choose. So I'll just finish up putting some paint here at the top. All right, a little bit more. Okay. So as you can see, I've fully coated the back part of our C. And again, I'm just going to be placing this down on the paper. And last time you saw me use my fingers to push down. For this one, I'm going to be using the back of the paintbrush, as it is a little less messy for my hands. But I'm just going to make sure I pushed every bit down really good. As you can see, I hold onto the little handle that I made. Alright, and from here, I'll show you, I just lift this right up, and it stamps our C. So as you can see, that one came out very well. What you want to focus on is making sure that all pieces of your stamp are pressed down equally. All right. So next, I will be showing you guys our star / snowflake. Anything you really want it to be. I have not yet practiced stamping this one, although it is pretty simple. So for this one, what I did is I took a pipe cleaner and I cut it first into 3 different sections. So I'm going to do that now. So we're just going to make 2 different cuts. Alright, so now we have 3 different pipe cleaners. They're about the same size. A little bit, this one's a little bit smaller, but that's alright. So what you're going to do is you're going to take one. So you're going to take the first one, and you're going to want to cross them over each other and loop them in the middle. So for the first one, we can make this X, and then all you have to do is twist them together right in the middle, just like that. And then for this next guy, we'll do the same thing. Alright, so for this one, since it's a little shorter, and I still have yet to make the loop or the handle, I'm just going to actually not cross this one over, lay it flat, and then right on top of that, I will make another one. And I'm just going to twist that on there so it keeps that middle one nice and tight. So right now, kind of looks funky, but from here, you can just kind of pull them out where you want them. What I did on the example one that I showed you guys, for this one, I went back and I kind of changed the sizing of it. So as you can see, just like I did for the C, I'm just going to be looping this excess to kind of make a handle for us. But these are mostly even. I'll just trim down a few that look a little bit longer. All right, that looks pretty good. And another thing I forgot to mention is you don't have to really worry about the colors of the stamps matching. As you can see for this one, I obviously used all blue. For this one, I ran out of the yellow, so I opted for the blue handle. Both work as the color won't be going onto the paper at all. So for this one, I'll be showing you both the stamps, the one I made previously to show you guys an example, and then this one, as you can see, they're both different sizes, so it'll be fun to see what they look like on paper. So for this one, since I keep calling it a snowflake, because it kind of resembles a snowflake, I will be using this blue color. So again, just like before, I'll be placing a little bit more blue than last time, as we're going to be covering two of them. And then we will grab a new paintbrush, and I will just paint the backs of these. So I'll paint the one I made before first. This is the little smaller of the two. So I just continually dip into my paint when I need more. For these, you want to make sure you have enough, but you also want to make sure you don't have too much. As with too much, the excess will kind of spill out of the stamp, and then you will lose that shape. Alright, so you just want to go around all of these areas. So I'm on my last one. This is a little bit harder to see with the blue on blue, but again, I am going to be showing you on the one I just made as well, which is yellow, which will be much easier to see with the blue on top. Alright, so if you can tell the difference of the colors, the darker space is where we have paint. So again, I'm just going to stamp right on, and just like I did last time, I'm going to push down on that center, but I'm also going to press down each area of our stamp with the end of our paintbrush. All right, and then we just lift right up. And this is the end result for that one. As you can see, there is a little space. What you can do is you can always go back and just retouch that up. So you can just press down that one end, just like that, and it fills in that space for you. So that was the one I made prior to the video, but I will be showing you guys this big one as well. So I'm going to be using that same color paint as I poured enough. So just like the last one, as you can see, I just fully cover each of the pipe cleaners. What also helps with the handles is that's what you can hold while you're putting the paint on, which prevents a lot of mess from happening. All right. So we'll just make sure everyone is fully covered. Looks like everything is, as you can tell. And then we'll just do that same thing. I'm going to place it down. I'm going to hold it tight in the middle, and then I'll be pushing each of our pipe cleaners down so they can stamp in. All right. All right, so that one is pushed down good. And from here, we will just lift it right up. And there you go. So as you can see, they made very different shapes, but they still both came out very nicely. Just like that. So just like before, the final one that I will show you is different shapes. For this one, I made a circle, which is very simple. Like the heart, what you want to do, you just want to eyeball that shape, twist at the top, and then either you can leave those pieces straight, but I opted to make that loop, but it's totally up to you. I will show you how to stamp this one, but I want to show you how to make a different shape. So for our other one, we will be doing a triangle, as it involves more straight lines rather than the curvy lines that we have done with the C shape and the heart shape. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to create that V shape. And once I get it to the top up here, I'm just going to bend it to get that triangle shape, just like that. Just like the last couple, all you're going to want to do is you're going to want to twist around that excess as it puts them together very nicely. All right. And then you can go back and you can kind of straighten out your triangle as you want to. Pinching the ends or these corners is really good to get that shape back. All right, so for this one, as you can see, I'm left with this kind of tail at the end. And for this one, since I've been doing a lot of the loops, I'm actually just going to keep this one straight, and we can use that to stamp. So here you have a triangle and a circle. I'll show you both stamped onto paper, but again, like with any of these, any shape or letter or kind of design that you want to get out is very simple. So lastly, for this one, we will use this kind of pinkish red color, magenta. So again, just like the last ones, I'm just going to place a little bit on our paper. I'm going to take a new paintbrush and we'll do our triangle first, which I just did for you guys. All right, we're just going to paint all along the back. Try to show you guys what I'm doing. And a tip for these is with shapes, you don't really have to worry about the side that you're painting on or what side you're putting your handle on, as they mirror each other when you stamp them down. Whereas for letters, you want to make sure that you have them so when they are face down, they will be creating the letter that you're desired. With that, if you're going to be doing numbers, you want to take that into consideration as well. But you're just going to want to fully coat the back of this stamp. Alright, so as you can see, it is fully coated, and we will just place it right on the paper, and we will press down. Alright, so as you can see, I've fully pressed down, and when we lift up, there's our triangle. And lastly, as I said I would show you, I will show you the outcome of our circle. This could also be taken as a 0 or a O, but it works either way. So I'm just gonna again repeat this same process of covering the entire stamp that I created, different colors. And something fun that I will show you guys as I'm running out of this magenta paint is you can always use more than one color. So as you can see, I have covered about half of my stamp, and I did run out of paint for that one, but I do have some excess blue. So I will paint the top portion of this blue. I could have always just gotten more paint, but I might as well get some use out of this. And then if you want to kind of mix those colors in the middle, all you want to do is kind of go back and forth, and they will mix a little bit. Alright, as you can see, now I have it fully covered, and this one will be a little bit more fun as there will be more than one color. So I'm gonna press down on this main portion, and I will press down with my fingers, as sometimes it's just a little bit easier to do that. Alright, so give it a good press, make sure all parts of the stamp are down. As you can see, I pushed down really well, and when we bring it up, there you go. So for this, you can do it with any color as I showed before. It's really fun and really simple. As a reminder of some of the ones that we did, here we did our shapes. Again, we did some letters, a K and a C. We did our snowflakes. And lastly, we did 2 different shapes of hearts. But that is all I have for you guys today. I hope you enjoyed this super fun painting activity. It's very unique. You can change it up as much as you want, as you can do any design, any shape, any letter that you want. But I hope you guys enjoyed. If you do end up doing this painting activity, I would love to see your pictures in the comments below, as well as I will drop pictures of my final results so you guys have a reminder for that as well. Have a great day.